There are people out there that would like to earn other people's support by paying $12.5 billion for the Los Angeles Lakers. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is the person that broke the news this morning as Kushner and Iger by the Lakers from a guy that just bought it last year for $12.5 billion. Bob Iger, former head of Disney, now owner of Lakers, the one who broke the news, who went through the NBA Finals with 2 sprained ankles.
That's right.
Yeah. Still on the court, ladies and gentlemen, Ramona Shelburne.
Yeah.
2 sprains.
Dog.
You saw me hobbling around Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
Not a pretty sight.
no, I saw you toughen it out.
Yeah.
It wasn't hobbling.
There you go.
It was a wow. That lady sprained both of her. She Carson Wentz'd. Both of her ankles were sprained, and you were still out there on the court in the back.
It was the Knicks.
Yeah,
It was the Knicks.
I understand.
Right? This wasn't just any NBA Finals. This was the Knicks.
Yeah, but we think you would have done it for anybody, Ramon, because you're an absolute dog. Now, let's continue to move forward about a big move that you broke today. This is huge. Obviously for all of sports, but definitely the NBA. One of the most storied franchises now sells for $12.5 billion in Los Angeles. This came about pretty quickly. Is that what we're reading and learning? And did you expect or anybody expect this was a possibility?
Yeah, I got a tip on this last night, real late last night, LA time. I think the agreement just closed right around when I got a tip and stuff. And it was, somebody called me and said, "Are you sitting down?" I said, "Okay, should I?" And I didn't know if it was true. At the time, it took me kind of all night to confirm it. And obviously this morning, we were able to report it. And it was, Pat, I mean, my mind is still a little blown here. Like, this is a lot of money, but not even just the money. It's how fast this closed. From what I understand, Iger and Josh Kushner were in the expansion process, trying to bid on the Vegas team. Those talks are going nuts right now. I think the number for the Vegas expansion team is climbing close to what Mark Walter paid for the Lakers back last year, which was $10 billion. And at some point, these two guys are pretty smart and they go, well, why would we buy an expansion team for 10 and then have to spend another 2.5 to build the stadium in Vegas without at least calling Mark Walter and seeing if we could buy the Lakers for 12.5, right? So on Sunday, from what I understand, Mark Walter got a call from, I believe it was Josh, but it might have been Bob. It was this group, okay? And just said, are you open to this possibility? And Mark wasn't really looking to sell, but he had to think about it. And he had a day to decide. And then they got to work on the agreement. And it all wrapped up since Sunday. I mean, nobody knew. Like, everyone I called trying to confirm this was like, this all just happened really fast. And I think we're all making sense of what this means for the Lakers going forward. Mark had just put in all these Dodger guys. They had just hired all these people. And from what I understand, all those people, it's going to be business as usual until this sale closes. The NBA will have to vote on it. They'll have to approve them as owners. But there is a sale agreement in place right now, and it's for Mark Walter's shares. So the Buss family still has a minority stake in this team. What does that mean for them? We're still figuring it all out.
Okay, so thank you for all the information and for the journalism, as we have a $12.5 billion deal with one of the largest sports franchises in the world. Bob Iger, one of the greatest deal makers of all time. I think that is why he became, who he became at Disney. Ramona saying yes. I would say he would be argued as one of the greatest deal makers to ever exist. Kushner, obviously, incredibly successful, and I assume he would have to be a good deal maker. They put a deadline on him, right? Didn't they say, hey, you got till like this time to figure this out? But once you start piecing the numbers together, $10 billion for the Vegas team, got to build a franchise, got to build a brand, got to build an arena, got to build everything. Plus expansion draft, who knows who the hell we're going to end up with. We got Luka in LA with the Lakers. We don't own the arena, okay? We don't own the arena. But if it's going to cost us $10 billion to try to build a brand, $12.5 billion does make a lot of sense if you just have an extra $2.5 billion sitting around.
Sure, crazy.
Which leads to, who's the money behind this? Kushner's the money behind this? Do we know how this has to operate?
So he owns a company called Thrive Capital, which is a big fund right now. But they started something in May called Thrive Eternal, which is a kind of a separate fund that, in this era of AI and all that, they want to invest in eternal type brands and legacy brands. Their first investment was a minority share of the San Francisco Giants. And this one is obviously quite a bit bigger. This is, I mean, we had this conversation when Mark bought the team. How could it be worth $10 billion? Well, all around the world, I think you can name the Dodgers, the Lakers, the Knicks, maybe the Patriots now, maybe around the world, not
Yankees.
just in Yankees. I mean, I think there's five or six big teams like this. Maybe the Golden State Warriors at this point.
Cowboys.
They actually own their arena.
Dallas Cowboys,
but
Pittsburgh Riverhounds,
Dallas Cowboys.
Bruins.
Inter Miami.
but I think, look, it's the brand. I mean, and this is, if you're Mark Walter, look, there is this federal investigation that he's been under for the last year or so. I think this predates even his buying of the Lakers. That this is not connected to that, but it obviously was in the background of all of this. This is not Mark looking to sell, but this was two smart guys who said we should place a call. And Josh has a house in Malibu, I think. Bob lives here in Los Angeles. These are huge sports fans. Even though he was technically our boss, right, Pat? He was all of our bosses. I met him when he was a courtside season ticket holder with the LA Clippers. He's a huge sports fan.
Yes.
He tried to help bring the NFL to Los Angeles a few years ago. Remember, he was involved with that Carson group that was trying to bring the Chargers and Raiders here. Yeah. So he's had an interest in this, and obviously he's got time now.
I'm very surprised that some other guy who has season tickets to the Lakers didn't figure out a way to do this.
Who's that?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
You might be looking at that Vegas team.
Ari Gold might be trying to move into, Because I paid $5,000 a ticket. I'll put up a 3 if I want to. That actually probably happened straight out of Entourage. This is a big deal. Now, let's talk. Luka put out a tweet, of course, saying, hey, I could deal with changes. D-Bud has a question for you.
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, it's 2 sales in less than 2 years. Have you spoke to any of the players or people that are in front office positions in that Lakers organization since this last sale?
I think they found out about when I found out. Like, I don't think nobody had really looped everybody in. This happened so fast. I think everybody's just making sense of it now. Like, it all happened fast. They all are this morning, they know, and everybody's wrapping their head around it. But because of how fast this went down, nobody has any idea what this means yet. Like, I've checked in over at the Lakers. They just hired a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So those people, it's business as usual until this sale closes. There's a board of governors meeting next month. I guess it could close as soon as that. You asked about the money earlier. Clearly they had their financials in order because they were in the expansion process. So if you're already bidding on the expansion process, you got the money lined up. And so they've already been vetted to some extent by the NBA if they're this far down the road in that expansion with Vegas. But I also think if you're the rest of the NBA, we all thought the 2 expansion franchises, $6-8 billion. I think it's going to be more than that, from what I understand. And everybody gets a cut of that. And when Vegas is pretty much an LA market. Like when the Lakers play a preseason game, they're all Laker fans there, and so this is now LA. Being, why buy Vegas when you can buy LA, when you can buy an established team and brand with a superstar that's in place for basically the same amount of money that they were going to have to go for in Vegas.
Yeah, very smart move by Bob and Josh.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Think I'm gonna try to wear I pull up long range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA over here, feeling fun.